Hey guys, we are back again on MVB Life Empowerment TV, and today I am the one who's going to be asking my beautiful boo here the questions. I'm Mo, and you are.
I'm George.
You're George. George who?
Boten.
Washington,
No,
the Dollar Man.
no.
Just messing with him. I love messing with my husband. Isn't he sweet? So are you excited to be on this channel today?
Yes, I am.
Today you're not the boss. I'm the boss because I'm asking the questions.
You ready to drill me, eh?
So ready. So guys, our topic for today is premarital counseling. Hey, the English it's not flowing, but I will try again. Christian premarital counseling, because we are Christians. So I'm gonna come from that perspective of premarital counseling for Christians. So my question to you first is, do you think premarital counseling is necessary? First of all, what is premarital counseling? Because maybe there's somebody who doesn't know. What is premarital counseling and is it necessary?
So, my understanding of premarital counseling
Uh-huh.
is um, the guidance that you get in the church space, since we're talking about, like, the
Mm-hmm.
church. In the church space where leadership, elders, pastors of the church who have been married in most occasions
Yeah.
um, teach you or tell you what you are likely to experience or things to look out for
Mm-hmm.
before you say that I do.
Right. So being well informed about basically what marriage is
That's right.
and preparing you for the the actual did, right?
Yep.
That's premarital counseling. So do you think it is necessary? Because there are debates nowadays where people say, no, you don't need premarital counseling. If the guy is a believer, the woman is a believer, they know God already, so you just go do it. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand because there's
Uh-huh.
been a whole lot of talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I talk to people, you talk to friends, you talk to people, and people have different views about what you are saying, which I absolutely I agree with most of
Uh-huh.
them on both sides. The
Okay.
yes and the no, I do.
Okay.
So
So let's start with your take, and then we'll go into other people's like personal opinions based off of what you've heard. Do you personally think premarital counseling is advisable or necessary?
yes.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So let me just help a bit. It's like, do we need financial counselors, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need life coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think
It's any
having
different.
marriage counseling, like a
Mm-hmm.
counselor to to counsel you, to talk to you about
Mm-hmm.
marriage. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just mostly on most occasions it's the people that are doing the counseling, their qualifications and their backgrounds themselves. I think that is
Mm-hmm.
where most of the issues come from. But you put that aside,
Right.
I would say a yes for a counseling. Yeah.
Okay. So, this gives me my follow up question to say, let's say you're a young couple or old couple in Christ
Mm-hmm.
and you want to get married and you have heard that it's good to get premarital counseling. What qualities do you think people should be looking for in these specific advisors? Should I put it that way? The people that are going to be guiding them through the steps. Because you said the person has to be qualified. So, what do you think you should be looking out for to recognize that this is a wise counselor for me?
Let me start by saying there is the formal and the informal part of to this.
Okay,
As
break it down for us,
right.
please.
So people go to school to gain the knowledge to be counselors,
Mm-hmm.
right? In most occasions, they themselves are not even married,
Right.
but they go through the steps. They take the time to go through
The
all
education.
the educational side to acquire the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I believe they can tell you some of the things that you experience,
Okay.
right? Because I believe that the key reason why we go for counseling, right, marital counseling, is one of the things I understand is to address some of the risks, some of the issues, some of the concerns that you are likely to face whilst you are about to say I do, whilst you're about to get married, right? So, and most of these things are from statistics.
Right.
Some of them are from experiences, the people doing the counseling themselves. Some of them are from reading books,
Right.
right? So some people will go to school to acquire all of this, and based on what they have learned, they are able to share their view. They are able to tell you what they think you are likely to face, and in most occasions, you are not going to face the same exact example that they will give, but it's something in the same line.
Right. Okay.
Right. And then we have those are like them, and we have the people that they didn't really go to school to acquire this information,
But they have experience.
but they have experience.
Yeah.
Right. We just started some few years into it, so have you experienced everything in marriage? Not yet.
Not yet.
People that have been married
Tip of
for
the iceberg.
for years, 30,
Yeah.
35, 40, 20, 15 years, they themselves even said they haven't even understand, they don't understand the whole,
All the dynamics.
yeah. So, but can I tell you some experiences that I have been since we got married? Yes, I can.
Right.
So, whether it's formal or informal, I think either side, these are like the things to look out for. So whoever is going to be giving the counseling, is it coming from just educational side because the person has gone through the school,
tutelage,
yes, and get that knowledge, or this is someone who has been married for years and telling you like their experience. So either side, I think you can still get like some knowledge, some skill, some experience from that.
So I guess like boiling down to what you're saying it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the best mentor, but
it's not,
go through it.
I'm not going to say no
Yeah.
because there are people, they are married, they have been married for years and they still went to school to acquire the degree.
Right.
So in that instance, they have their own personal experience, and then they have the book knowledge,
right,
part of it.
And then you have people that are actually not married, but because they studied that specific counseling profession, when you go to them, they can actually really help you with your situation.
Yeah.
But even though they're actually not married, because they have, let's say, ChatGPT knowledge ingrained in the library of their brain.
Likely, yeah. So
but they can still help you.
Yeah. So I don't want people to dispute like, oh, this person is not married, this person
right,
don't have the degree, right? Because one way or the other, they can tell you something. Either side, right. Whether the person acquired the knowledge through school, or the person is telling you based on the years of marriage they have been, they are all going to tell you something that you will be helpful along the way.
Okay.
Right, but it's not going to be the exact same thing you experience.
True. So as a Christian, do you think you should only go to like a Christian counselor?
Absolutely.
For marriage?
Don't even continue.
No, I just want to make sure, because we come from a faith-based perspective, because you do need to find someone that aligns with your values.
Yes.
Because they would understand and guide you, I think, more elaborately and properly for the type of lifestyle that you have. Not to say that the other people that are not Christian-based will not help you.
So...
I see your face like something is going through your head.
I'm not going to say because a person is not from the same belief, so they won't be able to cancel you.
Right.
That is not what I'm putting on.
Okay, so what are you trying to
The next thing is, if someone goes to school and acquire the knowledge, they can still
help you, yeah.
Right. And if the person is not if it's not a believer, it's not a Christian, non-believers still get married.
Exactly.
So when it comes to experience,
we
all go through it.
Yes.
Right. So they can also tell you about it. But it's best to get a counsel from someone that share the same beliefs.
That aligns with
exactly, because
what you believe in.
Somebody might counsel you, but because they don't share the same beliefs with you, right? There are some
Conflicting
ideas
items.
that will come along the way, and those are sometimes these little things that the little changes that we always have,
Mm-hmm.
because let's say divorce, there are some key topics that
They are
every
nonchalantly looked at by
exactly,
other people
right.
that are also
So if
not
if
Christians.
you go to, like, a Christian, a believer,
Mm-hmm.
they have a way of navigating the stories,
Mm-hmm.
the situations and everything. And even if divorce is going to be in, they actually weigh it to the point where it should be like
They are
not
like
yeah,
guidelines on how to go about it, what is
yes,
permissible in what instances,
yes,
and the like. Okay.
yeah. But if the
Okay.
person is from a different background where you can marry more than one, you can, there are so many things,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for the person, it's okay. So that is where, like, you have to just watch or draw the line. If
Mm-hmm.
the person is not from the same faith, then those little things that can be a
Okay.
bit challenging, yeah.
And I also believe strongly that when you're selecting, look for someone you can respect
Yes,
and actually listen to. And you don't only want to go to a person that makes you feel great. You want a person that really will tell you the truth. And as a Christian, you want to have a mentor or someone who's going to counsel you in the will and alignment of God, not someone that is going to feed your emotions because they know Brother George or they know Brother Molini and that kind of thing.
Brother Walini, like,
I
really.
mean, Sister Molini. Brother Ebe.
Hey, alright,
Brother
continue.
Mosby.
Continue.
Sister Molini or something like that. Yeah, I'm just like throwing it out there. I love how you always try to catch me off my footing, but I'm coming back. I'm not getting lost. So as I was reading and like studying about it too, it was saying that do you know that about 30% of Christians or people that do go through premarital counseling, those people are likely to not go through like divorce.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a very, I think
Yeah,
it's a small,
it's a good,
this
it's
is
a
not
good,
over
yeah,
50%.
it's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they said about only 30% will end up in divorce. So that means at least the 70%
Yeah,
is
still
a pretty good.
30% is high, but at least you
Yeah,
have a higher majority.
exactly.
Like,
So that was like according to studies. So
yeah,
I was like, oh, they are doing studies about this, and they are saying just in general, the people that actually go through counseling, they are able to stay married longer than people that do not go through it.
did you have the numbers for people that don't go through counseling?
Well, I'm thinking then it's like it's the other part.
Yeah,
I could look it
it,
up.
it's just like out of the blue
Yeah.
question, because
Mhm. I could
me
look it up and
personally,
bring it next time.
me like, personally, I am in for mentorship and
Yeah.
and having people that guide and help and align. So if that is why I
Mhm.
asked the first question. So if you have people that are
Yeah.
leading and guiding and directing people,
Mhm.
and they are getting good results, then we have to follow that
It's good to
step, and then
implement. Yeah.
keep going and
Yeah.
stuff.
I
So
mean, they've tried it, so if you're
the
able to
only
follow, then
thing will
you'll be
be
okay.
like, if the people that were not going through counseling were having a better successful marriages than the people that were going through, then that would have been questionable.
Right. I mean, like this, they were basing it on people that actually go, because we want to see if it's actually helping anybody or not. Because if the study is saying, okay, out of 100% of people that went to seek counseling, 70% are successful and only 30% are not, then you would go with a higher number.
That's right. Yeah.
So it means that it's over the course of history, it's been proven that counseling is actually working. It's helping to keep marriages together and
That's
people together. So, which brings me to my next question, which you were talking about earlier, that there are misconceptions. So the one of the misconceptions that I found out is that people think going for counseling is only for couples that are failing. Is it true?
Wow, that's serious.
Yeah, like it was like pretty big. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So even for us, I've been
Yeah.
talking like, oh, let's give it a try. Like,
Right.
let's go, because
I mean, we
I
did it
think
before.
I was reading, like, not premarital, but since
But
we already,
yeah.
I was reading. I think I didn't watch it. I was reading somewhere like to be healthy in your
In your
relationship,
relationship.
right? Okay, this is what just came to my mind, so I just want to just add it up. So it's like a believer
Mm-hmm.
that just wait for
For
trouble
problem to
to
come
come
knock.
before they start to pray.
You don't have insurance of your marriage.
Right, so that was just like an example, but I was reading somewhere where it's good to keep a healthy relationship, a
Mm-hmm.
healthy marriage, and one of them is also like going for counseling just to check yourself,
Right.
check your partner, and all of that, like
Okay.
where you are and stuff, and you are in like what a
A
ground
good place.
a good place where it's not like
You're fighting and boxing each other
yeah,
like
so you
Mike
can.
Tyson.
The other
Your
side
face.
is hopefully you don't go and bring something that is not there,
Right.
right? But and that is when whoever is going to do the counseling plays a good role, because if there is a situation that is not there, the person can find a way to merge the family or the couple, and they don't have to make it a situation and sort it out.
And I think like people are afraid of going because of what they're gonna find out.
That's true.
But even if you're in a healthy place, the thing is once everybody's talking, sometimes there are certain areas that of your partner that you don't really hear.
That's true.
You pick and choose because we're human beings.
Yeah.
you pick and choose what
you
what you want to hear.
Everybody wants to be comfortable.
But when you have a third party listening in to both sides of the question, that person sees the whole pie, so they start asking both of you questions, and obviously there's going to be some can of worms that is going to be open. It's expected.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily know your person in full as you think you do, because everyone is evolving and everyone is growing. So there is that other, I think, should I say, fear that people have, that everything is great. If we do go, what if it ends up not being so good? But I think it's still good. Anyway, let me not answer my own question. Let me ask you, do you think for people that have those kind of fears, they should still go ahead and try it?
I would say yes. Right, I would say yes. But
that sign you made.
I know, because I'm thinking about it's like the both sides of it. Like
Right.
you don't have no issue, and what I want to add to this before I even say yes, go for it, is having a good communication system. Right. Because I think if you do have a good communication system, right, you'll be able to talk about most of these things that when you go to counseling, it will come up. Right. There are some things that even if you have a good communication, maybe you won't bring up, right? But since you have a good communication system, I think no matter what comes, you'll be able to resolve it, because that is part of counseling.
Right.
Like you go there to get to know your partner. You go there to learn how to solve conflicts. You go there
to know the nitty gritty of the tough stuff. You can't ask in general.
Yeah. So it's healthy from what I've read to just go. You don't wait for like problems and issues to come
up. Yeah. And sometimes you think you're in a healthy space. You think all is good and all is great, but in actual facts, you guys are just treading over dirty, muddy water.
But I think that will happen.
It happens to a lot of people.
It does, right? When the people involved don't really communicate,
don't really talk,
right, and have so many things hidden, right? Because like if you are so open,
it's probably not so much hidden, but because you don't communicate.
That's true.
The other person just assumes it's okay.
Yes.
And then the one who's on that receiving end is kind of like dying inside, but because they don't want trouble, they keep their mouth closed. So it's not necessarily like they are hiding. They just like, I want to deal with the aftermath of what this is going to bring. You ever heard of this saying like, oh, sometimes the can is okay when the lid is on? It's like once you open the lid, everything starts coming out. You're like, oh my God, maybe I should have just kept this scorpion or octopus inside the pot.
That either side has a good view, but
yeah,
I just hope and pray that whoever you choose as a counselor has the good of the couple at heart, and is really willing to
help you,
to help. Like
and I also feel like from a Christian perspective, pray about the people you bring into your life.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily just to say, oh, because this is a professional, we just carrying ourselves and going. You're already in some spiritual battles. So
Yeah.
imagine you go and collect someone that is doing their underworld stuff. My God, you're in trouble already. So like pray to God to give you insight on whom to talk to. So and know God.
Yes.
Know the principles of God, because even when you select someone and they start talking, by their fruits you shall know them.
That's true.
By their words you will know. So, and you and your husband or your spouse or your wife, depending on who you are, if you know this, the two of you can at least agree. Even if you're fighting, and you when you go there, you can at least agree to say, I don't think this is for us.
Yes.
Before you add more wahala there,
That's
more
true.
problems. So pray about it before you select that person, because you can create more more problems for yourself.
Absolutely, I agree.
Than what is necessary. So my last question, let me make that the last one so we can bring it to a close.
Okay.
Can you tell me some of the benefits of marital counseling, or in your case, when we went through marital counseling, would you like to share with the people what you thought was helpful, what you thought wasn't helpful? Because we did get counseling from two different pastors. Yeah.
So I know for your church, your pastor gave us a book to fill out and all of that. So which was different. Anyway, it's our first time going through this whole thing, so it was different.
I think that was.
It's more like it's more
like a checklist.
More like writing an exam check. Like, give me five.
It was work.
Five things you don't like about her. Give me 3 things you get you upset. Give me these things. Give me write these things. So it was more like
reflection.
Yeah. And then she has like a whole book to read about marriage and some of the things that to experience, which was cool. And it shared like, but most of the things that I wrote, they were things that I told you. It's like this, so it wasn't new. Even bringing it out to him, because it was things that I had told you before
expressed,
before, it went to the third person to come see it. So it wasn't like, this is out of the blue, I don't know this. Like,
even if it was out of the blue,
yeah,
it's good.
but yeah, but it was good too. And I'm sure, like, I remember when we went, he said almost the same thing, like, okay, just watch it, don't do this, don't go here, don't do. So it was the same thing that I addressed, that like the same angle that I was bringing, and the same thing. So he was just enforcing things that
we already
knew,
yeah,
and we wanted the other person to really fix or work better on them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and he also stressed on it, just trying to make us accountable. Like, this is what your partner said you have to fix. Are you working on it? Are you doing it? What are you doing about it? And stuff. So, and then he gave us books to read about marriage and all of that, which was really nice and stuff. Yeah. So both sides, Bishop too also sat us down, explained things to experience. That's what I said. Like, you go to counseling, it's like they expose you to some of the issues, some of the risks that is likely to happen. Right. And that's what our bishop was doing, telling you, okay, this is likely to happen, so be ready, be prepared, and when these things happen, just know how to deal with it. So either side, we have the one that is more of communication part of it, conflict resolution, how to communicate better, how to be together, how to do things together. Yes. And then the additional bishop was, these are things that happen.
Right.
These are
how
things
you
that
prepare
happen.
For it.
So these are things that you have to take care of, like the money and all of things that likely happen. And talking about statistics, this is likely to happen. Do this, take care of this, and you'll be fine. So either way, they both address different sizes, and they were all absolutely good. Right. And that has been really helpful.
And that's why we are saying it's good for you to pick and know yourselves. For us, communication was big. So, for example, my apostle. And I'll say their names because I think they're amazing.
Yes. Okay, I know I didn't.
Even if we're in separate churches and stuff, I think they played a big role in my life. So I would never negate.
Yes. It was really helpful.
Their work for me. My church, it was Apostle Ameyao, from United Christian Mission Church. I learned a lot from him. So for that, I always say God bless you, because everything that I was learning before is come in handy in my marriage.
Yes.
So with him, we learned a lot about how to actually communicate and talk. You know, there are things you think because you're dating and it's sweet and it's nice, but there are things that just need to be addressed. Period. Because those things will end up being problems. And I think when he made us do the exercise of filling out the book, what we like about each other, what we don't like, what we think the other person should work on, what we think we should work on, it was more of like it brought things to light.
Yeah.
You think about it, but you don't really like break it down. It was almost like a research of your own self and your partner. So I loved that because it made us accountable and it gave us actions, right?
Yeah.
And then like with Bishop John Boafor, his amazing New Directions Bible Temple. I say their names because I think they are remarkable men of God,
absolutely.
and they have really helped our journey. You know, if we make mistakes, it's not them, it is us.
And it's good to have people that hold you accountable.
Right.
Like people that make sure you are taking the right path.
Right.
And guide you. And it was before our marriage, and in the course of our marriage, they are still guiding, talking, and directing. So which is like really good.
And I believe like what I learned from Bishop John Boafor, which has also stood up until now, is that he made us accountable to actually like write down every single step of the process.
Yeah.
You know, when do you go to the court? When do you do the traditional? When do you do the church sermon? And he was so accountable in saying, bring me the documents. Bring me everything, every step that you did. So I found that to be very great, because you want mentors, but you also need people that will actually show you the path and keep you accountable.
Yes.
Because I remember Sunday services after church, we would have to go and report ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, did you do it? And like on times that we didn't do it, we were looking at each other like, oh man, this is gonna be an interesting day. But thank you, Bishop John Boafor. That was amazing. So pick people that will hold you accountable, because on this journey you will need it.
Definitely. Yeah.
The more resources you have, I think the better for your marriage. And sometimes I think when you get to a rough patch, right? Those lessons, they kind of come back.
Definitely. Yeah,
and they help you. And what other benefits do you think you get if you do premarital counseling? That was the last part that I was asking.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I know I put all of them
lumped it, in summary.
Like conflict resolution, how to fix issues, how when things happen, how both of you can come together and work together, how to communicate better among yourselves.
Right.
You know, those are some of the things. And like I keep saying, I keep bringing it up because I know Bishop, he mentioned so many things like these, you have to handle them because they are likely to happen. And
they were happening likely.
Exactly. And most marriages break when they don't have, like, you know, they don't tackle these issues. So
you don't even know where to start.
Exactly. So when you start fixing these things, like I know it started with our finances and the whole things, making us accountable for so many things. So those are the things. Fix it, handle them now, so that in the long run you will be okay. And those are really
you won't
so
choke each other.
you see the risks, you see the mistakes that are likely to happen, the conflicts that are likely, some of them, and then he's like, okay, these things, watch it, take care of it, handle it, deal with it now, find a way to talk about it, deal with it, and move forward from there. Because if you do get the basis right, building upon it is going to be easy.
Okay. Well, this was awesome. So guys, premarital counseling is good, whether you're a believer or not.
Yes.
We tried it, premarital counseling. Now we are going to our 5th year. The end of this year will be 5 years. So I think so far we've been surviving by grace and love and just the lessons of what we have learned along the way. And I'm not going to tell you that just because you're having you had premarital counseling, your relationship is going to smooth. You're not going to disagree. It's a lie. Sometimes you will be kicking and screaming at each other, but because you love each other so much, you make it work because you know what is important and you know what is the goal. So yeah, we'll be facing our own challenges, especially with this, but we will not stop. We will keep it coming and telling you people the truth until we all succeed together. Would you like to say anything, baby before we end.
Just go through the process. Find people that you are accountable to.
Yeah.
Work with them, and be willing to go through the whole phase, the challenges with them.
Yeah.
And I'll say it's worth it. And the counselors too. Make sure you also put in the work to get the materials that are needed. And just don't project your own ideas. Just start, but come in with other things that they can also benefit out of.
Yeah. And it's work, guys. It's work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But good work and hard work pays off. So until our next session, if you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, like what you guys were doing for the last video. It was awesome. And we'll come back with more answers for you if you have questions. We love you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.